What's up, YouTube? We're a couple of cunts, we're in the countryside. We're talking about sandwiches.
The sandwich!
Perhaps the greatest invention since sliced bread is when some fucking amazing human being decided to put other things in between those slices of bread. Generally cheese and meat is the winner.
Funny story there to kick things off with. I heard a story once from a guy who went to Trent with me. A couple of the guys he was with in his first year hit the casinos quite hard with their student loan and lost quite a lot of their money. So then ended up having bread sandwiches. It's like, hang on, surely that doesn't work. You need something different to put between the two bits of bread for it to be a sandwich. Otherwise, you're just eating 3 bits of bread. I don't know, what they did was something slightly different. The only thing these guys would buy till their loan next came in was bread and cooking oil. They would deep fry bits of bread and then put it between 2 other bits of bread. It's not like, that's almost brilliant, but at the same time it's terrible and so fucking unhealthy for you. But that's literally all they would eat. That's because you can get loaf of bread quite cheap. You can get fuckloads of cooking oil quite cheap if you buy it in bulk. So that's all these guys used to eat. Pretty much.
That must have been so healthy.
Yeah, it just made me think. So sometimes I'd sort of like eat like a massive meat feast pizza or something and think, oh god, so unhealthy after that. But when you hear stories about people doing that, you sort of think, actually, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I got fuck all to worry about.
This coming from a guy who once ran out of butter.
I ran out of butter. I could have bought some more, but didn't because I was going home like a week later or something. So I used Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce as butter for about a week to 10 days. That was a fucking good week. I still stand by that. I might even go back to doing that. It's just like butter's overrated. Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce is the fucking way forward.
Yeah. And you see, I respect that. I mean, I've got a horror story from uni, and that one evening I went to the fridge and all I had in was a 4-pint of milk and a block of cheese. And that was my dinner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it. This is the student life, I guess.
I'm really trying to think of something you can do there, but you basically got 2 different types of the same product.
I'll tell you what I did.
Mix
I
it
drank the milk and I ate the cheese, and that was my meal. It was a bad move. It's hard to have a bad experience with a sandwich, really.
I was going to say, you'd really need to just like have a sandwich that's just got like entire, like, I don't know, celery or just cucumber in it for you to be bored with it.
You can have bad experiences with sandwiches. Like, when I went to uni, the first thing I ate in the canteen was a cheese and pickle sandwich. I was like, how can you fuck up a cheese and pickle sandwich? It's the simplest thing. But it tasted like fucking shit in a dirty sock. Like, honestly, I don't understand how it happened. I think that's about the only bad sandwich experience I've had there.
I'm sure there's one more. There is the DT moment. It wasn't actually DT, it was just for a DT exam. It was lunchtime at our school, we were in the quad area.
Not my best subject, I should point out.
And he starts going, oh dude, I'm going to fail my exam, I'm fucked. I'm going to fail my exam, I'm fucked. It just keeps on going on for about 2 minutes, and I just stopped at one point. It's like, you stood in a sandwich. It just went, oh, I just like a tomato all over his fucking shoe.
What's your favourite kind of sandwich? Could you choose just one?
I don't think so, no. It's probably going to have cheese in. It's going to have at least one meat. I do usually put a bit of salad in there, not a lot. Then maybe something, I've got a really nice bottle of Malaysian sort of ginger chili sauce. You just put a tiny bit in a sandwich, sort of does the fucking job.
See, cheese and onion, the old staple. It's one of my favourites. If I'm stuck for something to have for lunch, I'll just chuck together a cheese and onion sandwich. The other thing is, the other day, me and my missus just went out and got a good offer. We got 2 bits of quite fancy cheese. There was Wensleydale with cranberries, and I think it was either Red Leicester or Double Gloucester with chives. So I had the Double Gloucester with big fat slices of chorizo, straight from the chorizo loop. That was good.
Something I got told about the other day by one of my friends, which I haven't done yet and I really want to. Told me about a sandwich he used to make when he was younger, which is peanut butter and frosty sandwich, which just sounds amazing. I can put peanut butter with everything, but putting it with frosties is good. But I sometimes made it as a sandwich, I sometimes made it as a toasty, but when I was at uni, I used to make this one, and people always look at me a bit weird when I say it, but trust me, once you've tried it, you will know. You get your standard sandwich, put butter and peanut butter in there, and then get a fried egg and bacon, and put that in there as well. Everyone sort of looks at me a bit like, trust me, when you mix butter and peanut butter together, it's something special. When you put bacon in there, it's great. But when you get fried egg mixed with peanut butter, oh my days.
I can dig it. When my missus was at uni and I used to go and visit her a lot in Derby, one of our staple meals was fried egg, brown sauce and pepper in a
Brown
sandwich.
sauce is always good.
Which was bitchin'. And also, Nee, you'll know this, she does a kick-ass bacon and egg and cheese sandwich, which is just the winningest combo.
Another thing I used to do occasionally to that sandwich I mentioned, which already sounds, interesting enough with all the stuff in, put cheese in there as well, especially like the really nice high-end Cathedral City stuff, like the £5 one that's like that big, one that's been matured for like 20 months or something. Literally that shit is like, oh my god, just injected into my veins.
That's the shit. Like, you've got to get a real good fucking cheese, but you get like a Cathedral City, a Pilgrim's Choice, or the Lake District cheese is something I'm loving at the minute, or a nice bit of Applewood. We could just...
We can say about fucking cheese in this, right? Halloumi, I've quite liked lately.
Man, it's not technically a sandwich, but you'll forgive me. Last year at Leeds Festival, we found a wrap stall. A wrap, all I had in it was fat strips of halloumi, sweet chilli sauce. Jesus Christ, that was the second best meal I had all festival after the buffalo burgers.
One time I've been thinking about like making a pizza with halloumi.
That would be perfect.
And like make a pizza sandwich, so you have two pizzas and just put them together and put stuff in the middle.
That's like a double down, but pizza version.
I was in America last year. Never fucking made it to a KFC for a double down. This is just one of those
life achievements that you want.
I know like a burger like isn't technically a sandwich and stuff, but it's one of those things. And that's another area I do have a massive love for, is burgers. Just general stuff. There's a place I've been on about taking you for ages in Nottingham, which probably anybody who's watching this who lives in Nottingham knows of, Annie's Burger Shack, who I think it was 2011 was voted best independent burger maker in the country, and my god does she deserve that.
Well, in September I'm actually going to get to take you to my favourite burger place.
Oh well, we can have a trade-off then.
Mojo's in Scarborough. It's basically like an old 50s style music themed cafe.
Nice.
That does like all the burgers have got like music related names. So the veggie burger is called Morrissey's Revenge.
What a cunt.
The burger with extra cheese is called the Krista Burger.
Nice.
What I get
It's the little touches like that make sandwiches really.
What I get is the Fat Boy Slim, which is a big ass burger, fat strips of salami about that thick, all covered in so much cheese that when it melts it just runs off onto your plate. The only thing they do better than that is a Beastie Boy, which is that with mushrooms and bacon and a fried egg. All that shit is good, but I've still never experienced anything quite on the level of, say, Man vs. Food.
I was going to say, we kind of pale in comparison to America. That show is pretty much the main reason I'd ever look at moving there. It's just like, I got this for $4. It's an 18-inch sub filled with 2 cows.
It's probably something you'd rather watch than actual porn. Just watch Man vs. Food.
Some of the sandwiches and stuff they've shown on there, just looking at them was like, that will probably satisfy me more than any human being ever could. Just looking at some of the sandwiches, like, or not even necessarily sandwiches, like the oysters or the lobsters or burgers or roasts or anything they have on there, I just look at some of them and think, if I could actually marry that dish, I think I might.
I can see you getting quite passionate about it.
Some of them I look at them and bring it out from the grill. There's like some guys who's like, I perfected this barbecue sauce recipe over 20 years. And you just look at it and then you see him eating it, it's like, oh, good God.
And on the flip side, they often do have quite hot women eating these massive, food items.
I was going to say, but it's quite odd, like the number of hot chicks you find in like really greasy rib restaurants.
Get a lot of like alternative chicks, roller derby types, which is no bad thing.
No, definitely not. In America last year, there was a Subway near the guy's place I was staying at. Went there for sort of like breakfast/lunch most mornings. Ordered whatever. Usually ended up buying a bag of beef jerky as well, just putting beef jerky in the sandwich also.
You master.
It is just, beef jerky sandwiches are beautiful. I do remember one time going to Subway and spending like 12 quid on a sandwich when I was like 16. It was good up until about the last couple of inches, but just felt utterly wrong afterwards. I had like a foot long chicken, bacon and cheese. I had double meat as well. I had like all the salad and stuff in there, so it was like foot long, but it was like that wide. And just, I got to the end, because when you've ordered something expensive and you want to enjoy it, and you just thought you're not going to get to the end and be beaten by it. You know, you've got to savour the whole thing. You've got to have all of it.
That reminds me of probably the best thing I've ever heard about sandwiches. Our friend Adam, when we were in Subway once, and someone said, "Are you going to get a foot long?" He said, "I can never manage a foot long. 6 inches fills me up nicely." Once again, we've been a couple of cunts in the countryside, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, favourite, subscribe and share with your friends. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you didn't like it, you're probably a celiac, but hey, you could always have meat in meat. Feel free to suggest a topic for us to talk about in a future episode. We'll see you next time. Oh, I don't know if you heard, Rihanna and Katy Perry just moved in together.
I'd like to be the meat and rat sandwich.